So finally, after some wait, the Realme XT is finally launched in India. And the good part about this phone is not those huge specs. The actual good part is the price at which it is launched. 16,000 rupees is the starting price for the Realme XT. And if you're wondering if you should be waiting for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro, actually there are some already good available devices in the market. So if you're waiting for the Redmi Note 8 Pro, you probably should if you're someone who follows the Redmi Note series well. But if you're someone who can't wait and are looking for one of the alternatives for the Realme XT, just to consider if there's a good choice, because the Realme XT already is a good phone. There's the Vivo Z1x as well. The Z1x, for us, we consider it to be one of the good phones because of the fact that it also offers a good list of specs with that price tag it came with. The Vivo Z1 Pro earlier had a better battery life, but the Z1x has a faster charging and also the same chipset. So let's start with the comparison of the Realme XT with the Vivo Z1X. Hey guys, this is Chetan for Gizmo Times, and if you're here for the first time and if you like our content, do hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. So let's start with the design. Realme, for the first time I guess in the recent times, we are seeing the company to opt for a glass protection on the back, and it's a Gorilla Glass 5 protection with the 3D Gorilla Glass 5 and a curvy back. So this actually seems to be better with the looks as well as better with the comfort. The Vivo Z1X still has that polycarbonate back. It's not a glass back, and in a way I won't ever say again, I had repeated this like many times in our previous videos as well. I don't really care about a glass back or a plastic back, because in the end most of us cover these things with one of the protective covers, so it doesn't matter if it's a glass or a plastic bag. But if you're someone who doesn't really care about those things and feel like you should be using a phone without a cover, the glass bag actually seems to be better with the holding, with the comfort levels, also with the looks. So here I would clearly say that the Realme XT seems to be looking better and also feels better in the hand. With the screen size, it's 6.4 inch on the Realme XT, 6.38 inch on the Vivo Z1X, and they have the same Super AMOLED display. So the technology wise, the color output wise, they both are almost the same, no difference there. Also with the protection, I would say that the Vivo Z1X has a short sensation glass, which they are comparing with the Gorilla Glass 5. The Realme XT actually has the Gorilla Glass 5 protection. So with the protection, they might be the same. We haven't tested them out by dropping them, so I can't again say that this one should be better than that. But in the end, with the displays, they are almost the same. 6.38 inch on the Vivo Z1X, 6.4 inch on the Realme XT. With the processor also, it continues the same. Snapdragon 712 Adreno 616 GPU, same chipsets with the same GPU on both of them. It comes down to the actual performance based on the interface optimization. And again, if it was some other interface that we were discussing, then I would say that I could give a conclusion. With the FunTouch OS and ColorOS, both of them are almost the same with the optimization done. We always see the battery life to be very well optimized. We also see the performance, the day-to-day usage, having no issues on both the interfaces. But here it should again come down to what the battery life is based on how good the battery capacity is. With the optimization done, I don't feel that one would be better than the other by a large amount. But with the battery capacity, 4000 mAh battery on the Realme XT versus 4500 mAh battery on the Vivo Z1X. So obviously you know that the Realme XT would be lagging behind the Vivo Z1X in this aspect with the battery life. And also with the fast charging, it's not just the higher battery capacity, it's also a faster charge available on the Vivo Z1X. 22.5 watt fast charging compared to the 20 watt fast charging on the Realme XT. And you'll have to wait for another video that we're doing about the Realme's XT 730G variant, which is going to have a faster charge support, but it will be priced higher as well. With the camera combination, that's where I would say Realme is taking a lead over most of the phones in the price range, because not just the sensor, again, don't take it as a conclusion based on the sensor. 64 megapixel camera, the Samsung GW1 sensor, obviously the first in the market right now, and that is going to take those super resolution shots of 64 megapixel. But that's not it. We actually tested out some of the photos and we saw that the color reproduction was quite brilliant on the Realme XT. Vivo Z1X is no far behind. It actually takes very good photos with the Sony IMX582 sensor. That's the 48 MP sensor on it. So both the phones did quite well with the camera, and both the phones were capable of taking good photos. But for someone who wants to preserve photos for the future with that large resolution of over 9000 into 6000 pixels, the Realme XT with the 64 MP would take the lead here. With the selfie cameras, 32 megapixel selfie camera is given on the Vivo Z1X, while on the other side, the Realme XT has a 16 megapixel selfie camera, both of them present on the notch on the top. almost a similar looking notch, though it's a U-shaped kind of notch on the Vivo Z1X. It's a V-shaped notch on the Realme XT. No huge difference in the quality except for the resolution, where the Vivo Z1X has a better resolution with the skin tone matching, with the colors in the background, with the contrast level balancing. Both of them did quite a good job, and almost similar results were coming out there with the selfies as well. With the interface, both of them have the same Android 9 Pie based ColorOS on the Realme XT and FunTouchOS on the Vivo Z1X. And one thing that we missed about the camera setup here was not just that 64 versus 48 megapixel, but also the entire camera module there. The 64 megapixel camera is supported by an 8 megapixel wide angle camera. There's also 2MP depth sensor and a 2MP macro sensor for those macro shots on the Realme XT. The other side, the Vivo Z1X has a 8 megapixel wide angle camera and 5 megapixel depth sensing camera. There's no macro sensor, but for someone who doesn't take a lot of macro shots, who doesn't really need a macro camera for a special use, you can still look at the Vivo Z1X as a good competitor to the Realme XT for the cameras. Otherwise, if you're someone who needs everything in their phone for future-proofing, packed up stuff, the Realme XT actually has it well. And for the variants, the Realme XT has 4GB RAM, 64GB storage, 6GB RAM, 64GB storage, 8GB RAM, 128GB storage as the best variant out there. The Vivo Z1X has 6GB RAM, 64GB storage and 128GB storage options. But one thing where the Vivo Z1X actually is still having that disadvantage compared to every phone in this price range, I don't know why Vivo missed it out. It's the absence of the microSD card slot. There's no microSD card slot on the Vivo Z1X, which still disappoints a lot of people because it's almost the Vivo Z5 that was launched in China, but the Z5 had a microSD card slot, which was actually a dedicated microSD card slot. Here, there's no slot for the storage expansion, not even a hybrid one. The Realme XT has a dedicated microSD card slot. So there lies a difference where the Realme XT actually seems to be better as a future-proof device where you can actually expand the storage in future if you like to. And the other ways, I would say, for the faster charging, the Vivo Z1X was better. With the display, no huge difference. With the performance, no big difference. With the cameras, we felt that both of them did quite a good job, but the Realme XT took a bit of an edge over the Vivo Z1X. With the selfies, better resolution on the Vivo Z1X, and in the end, no microSD card slot would give the Vivo Z1X a minus point there. Also, both of them have the latest in-display fingerprint sensors, and they both work quite well there as well. So again, one more similarity there, not a huge difference. And it all boils down to what you require from a mid-range phone. There were pretty good options in the market already, but these two now are the top contenders, at least for us in the market, in the mid-range market under 20,000 rupees. So this was a quick comparison of these two phones. I hope you like this video. If you do share and subscribe to Gizmo for more. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.